They chose to veto Rio instead of vetoing Vista like they did against us. Because obviously FaZe is really good at Rio. All right, winners finals. Toronto on the quote-unquote, I would say bad side. You get to the hill first, but I think it's a lot easier to break from the other side, in my opinion. So you see FaZe get the first kill towards that right side of the map, and then they just converge onto the hill because you can get there quick from mid, and now they're soaking. So even though you don't get to the hill first, it really doesn't matter. Cell with 3. He's working on a streak, and they're soaking hill for this. All right, they finally break on in. Everything's pretty standard. This is kind of just like trade fest. If they're able to break on in, then the other team gets control. Just on the break off originally, like breaking mid from this side is yours just quicker. Good kill on the rotation. Now FaZe has control of the P2, but they're still going to send someone towards P1 to clear this out because they know there's presence on Toronto side. So that's what Abeezy's doing here. He's just clearing their bases because they know, like, obviously they were on old time. So P1 and mid specifically are just areas that you kind of have to clear if you're on this side because they can just converge, break in from here, and since they're spawning on this side, they can like come from all angles, you know. Clinics gets 2, but FaZe is still soaking time, so he has to wait for his teammates. That's a big kill. This first kill that Cell gets, so this is going to be the break attempt for Toronto after they get this 2-piece, and this trade that's like about to happen right now is big because it stuns Ultra's push even more, even though they just got a 2-piece. Team nade doesn't work out either. Now on FaZe's side, you're covering mid, you're covering, you know, your side, obviously, you know. Let me see what 8's doing over here. He thinks that they spawned out. I'm not sure why. Maybe, yeah, I'm not sure why he thinks it spawned out. I'm not sure why he turns around here. I'm trying to think. I think they're just covering their bases, but maybe they were missing one. Maybe they didn't realize the team kill happened. But number 7 here, he's playing for these left side routes. So they realize that, you know, this is a pretty early route. So, you know, this would be Kleenex taking this route to try and first break the spawn and, you know, get spawns for P3 on this side of the map. But this honestly is a really, really early route. So they're not going to probably see him going all the way under like they do here. Or all the way outer, I mean. Like instead of hitting through P1 like this, he goes onto the bridge and jumps over, takes a different angle. And Simps is still able to get the 2-piece. So, I mean, this is a huge 2-piece. Not only does it set them up for the rotation because, you know, Simp is still have this pressure over here, but it's also like clearing everything in their minds for the rest of this P2. Because now they know 2 people were sent that way. So the rest of the guys, the 3 guys on the hill, basically just have to watch, you know, their mid and their outer together. And it's only a maximum 2 people, so it should be free for the rest of this P2. And Toronto, so instead of Toronto fully hitting around, they're gonna hit through this P2. So that's just a choice you have to make as a team. Like, are you going to fully hit around through P1, clear Simp, and then try and get these P3 spawns, or trying to break the rest of this P2 because there's still 20 seconds left, and then break through the spawn through the back, which you see a lot of teams doing as well. So they choose to go for like a 3-1, Insight being the one that goes P1 to try and clear Simp because obviously he was still there. But this is a really good activation play by Abeezy. He sees that both these guys go towards this outer area. So they have 3 guys that they're sending through this outer area rather than breaking through mid. Abeezy takes this timing to go around and flank them. So we call this activation because he's activating on the play that he sees. He sees that there's no one Toronto holding this or pushing this out. So he is going to make a play and flank these guys real quick. And it works like perfectly. Gets killing. Now the other 2 guys have to worry about him, so they have to turn around, which makes them a distraction for, you know, the rest of the guys on this hill. trade battles go down. Cell's shooting bodies. This is a really good play by FaZe. And they're holding the rest of this P2. They're now already focused on the P3. And Toronto, they have to make a decision. Are they going to hit through, again, are they going to hit through P1, hit through the front? Or are they going to hit through the back and like kill this guy on P2 time and hit through the spawns like this? So they send 3 people hold, 1 person towards new, and they're going to hit through the back like this. Kleenex doesn't win the gunfight on new. And based on the information that number 8 gets, Cell here, Cell sees at least 2 of them, right? Yeah, he sees 2, maybe even 3 of them. So he's going to relay that to Simp, and he relays that to the rest of his team. So Simp is going to be first contact, obviously. So, you know, first off, he's still technically blocking this spawn over here. That's why number 4 spawns out. And he's going to be the first contact. So he's going to have to work with number 5 here. Or even, you know, number 6 is kind of really not in the play here. So he kind of has to work off number 5. So him getting 1 at least was really beneficial because number 5 wasn't there at the moment. He was trying to get towards him. Number 5 gets another kill. 8 off of spawn because he spawned out. Comes and flanks them. So this is the thing where you're trying to hit the back. You're blocking the spawn, but you have to do it pretty quickly, and you have to get the kills in order to, you know, get that second chance on the hill. You know, you might, you know, capture the spawn for a second. Honestly, you weren't because, you know, Simp was still there blocking it. So because they weren't able to get all the kills in time, and because Cell was, you know, wrapping back, they just get the kills over here, and they keep the spawn. So it's perfect. They know last guy alive is bottom art. They kill him. Kleenex, Abizi 2-piece, super staggered now for Toronto, and this is like perfect for FaZe because they're gonna have a 35-point probably hold for the rest of this, or they should at least. They just keep staggering, keep staggering. Look at how many numbers like Toronto has on this break. They have 3, and then one guy tries to push, gets traded out. Another guy tries to push, gets traded out. Last guy traded out. FaZe just playing it pretty. Ooh. I just dropped something. Oh, that was just it was like a flow nace thing. We're good. We're good, chat. But FaZe playing this hold pretty well. Just reacting to where each individual Toronto Ultra player is coming from and just playing off of it. Now this is, again, such a situation for Toronto because 15 seconds left. You kind of just have to hit something together, and they're just going to hit through P2 and hit through the tower stairs here. Or actually, they do split up 2-2. So 2 go Burger, try and clear one guy out who might be playing towards new, blocking this, you know, P3 spawn. 2 guys will try and hit around through the backside. That's a big kill. So Insight, sorry, Envoy dies here, but is able to trade the kill out initially with Cell, and then Insight wins a huge 1v1 with the BZ here. This 1v1's because that's 3 down for them, and last guy alive is probably going to be at new, and that's what they check right here. Kleenex chows this. They're now soaking hill. So what could have been like a really good change for FaZe turns into a 2-2 break out of Toronto here. This is specifically because they're blocking the spawn, so the first guy spawns out. They get the trade at old, and then since number 6 Abizi dies here, it's just one-on-one gunfights for the rest of this. I mean, the Kleenex. Sorry, it's a one-on-one gunfight because Abizi dies. Here's the situation where FaZe probably just has to buy time as much as possible. Abizi just gets caught off guard, and Draza is not in a position where he can kind of hide and DJ yet. So that's yeah, that's a huge break by Toronto. So honestly, what was a really bad situation for Toronto, one instant break kind of like puts them back into this game, because a full hold here just, you know, it's a 10-point game at that point pretty much.
Right now they're just trying to flip these spawns as well. Trying to play some good Call of Duty timings, but Envoy's at least able to. They're just trying to flip these spawns as well. Some good Call of Duty timings, but Envoy's at least able to find one. The rest of Atlanta phase applying pressure through the front. Good off this phase approach.
This is a big break right here out of phase. So Simp gets called out over here, but number 5 and number 6 teamwork. Number 4 Kleenex. Kleenex dies out of DJ here, which is huge because he dies out of time, which means number 1 and number 3 both have to focus towards time here. And since Envoy gets this kill over here, this is going to be a one-on-one gunfight basically for the spawns. Cell actually wins it too. And since Cell wins this, that's for the spawns. Like that's literally for the spawns. BZ is still like staying alive over here, and because you know it's contested, they're blocking the close spawns. Number 4 spawns out. So and then even BZ wins this gunfight. Last guy at the tree. They should get this, and they should get the last 30. That really just goes to show you how important it is to stay alive at DJ or like in this corner when you're soaking time. Because if you die, like everyone else will react to that, and then it's a one-on-one gunfight for spawns basically at the other side of the map. With an insane ratty corner right behind the gondola.
There's going to be a lot of players and a lot of people in the crowd trying to tally up how that 1v1 is going to go across this series. Ultra players and wins that one-on-one off the rotation.
So even though Trap wins the one-on-one in the back, both these guys P1 die, and that creates so much pressure on number 3 to stay alive in this situation because he's alone at the hill. Trap is so out of the play right now that he has to stay alive for as long as possible because you know he's going to have 2 guys P1 that are basically coming to fight for him and just going to try and stagger, or sorry, not stagger, but try and hold from this front side time. They'll just try and contest, and then because these guys spawn up towards the bar, towards the pillars over here, or this guy actually spawns tower stairs, he can hit through mid, but these guys can kind of just bait out people that might be trying to reinforce the hill for Toronto. Look at number 8 where he's playing. Number 7 is going to hit out route mid. All they need to do is contest time, and number 5 is just watching over him. Big kill by Simp on number 7. Number 4 is going to try and go for the trade now. Huge 2-piece by Simp. This 2-piece, we talk about multi-kills and how impactful they can be. You know, some multi-kills aren't the same as some other ones. This is an insane multi-kill because this should be traded like pretty much every time. And Simp just gets a huge 2-piece because this should be the hill break now. Yeah, exactly. Cell breaks on in. They actually flip spawns here. Let's see if they play for it. Yeah, number 5 is going to play for it.
Look at how heads up Draza is. He knows that it's a potential spawn out for Ultra, and he's trying to see more time. And look at how heads up Draza is. He knows that it's a potential spawn.
So, number 5 Draza, he looks for the spawn, but number 6 thinks that, you know, 5 has his back. So, you know, hindsight, Abizi should probably just play a position where he can't get shot from his back at the top bar over here. But he thinks that Draza has his back, unfortunately. I think that's what happens here. Even though they win the gunfight P1, because they spawn out and because they're not able to cover it, because he's still, you know, open on time while he's soaking, it's kind of a situation. So actually Toronto salvages this, even though it's kind of like that's kind of what I was talking about with making it chaotic. Because of these split spawns, it just becomes so chaotic. Like if they had killed them and you know Toronto was still spawning over here towards the gondola, it would have been fine. But because the split spawns happen, that's where chaos ensues. And chaos in hardpoint is kind of like the hardest thing because not only do you have to read spawns, but you have to play for both sides at that point. So now you've seen a lot of VODs at this point where teams can full hold like the second P1. It's such a big money hill. Like a lot of P1s on the second rotation are just low key big money hills because, you know, just because of the situation that you're in, the way that spawns can like factor into this, and just the way that you can hold the hill in general. You know, teams or not teams, but like some people are just like, oh, it's a P1, it's contest heavy, but that's literally just the first P1 where you'll have like team spawn both sides of the map and just a foot race to the hill. But once that second rotation comes in, you can really see some big hills. Hey, Tater Grader, thank you for the 4 months. Appreciate that. I can't lie, I'm a fan of the later VOD reviews. 10 a.m. is too early sometimes. Honestly, yeah, I agree. The only thing is like when we have scrims, I can't really do this time, obviously. So that's why I try to do it a little bit earlier. But I mean, I could try and do night streams. The only thing with that is like all of the players stream at night. So it's kind of hard to compete with people playing when I'm doing VOD stuff. But it's an idea. It's possible. Number 5 and number 6, they're going to work towards mid here because they need to secure this P1. 3 kills go down towards the P5 side. So maybe too many resources spent towards, holding the rest of this P5 for Toronto and not enough for the P1. But they're just trying to help out and, Sim pops a piece, or not a piece, but Sim pops a huge kill here and Cell also gets a kill on time. So maybe I would say not enough focus on the P1 and that kind of fucks him over because now FaZe is holding it. They know where last guy live is. Up here, they kill him. Now you know where everyone's spawning and you can kind of hold this pretty easily. That confirms no scrim stay. Is everything okay? Yeah, Ken had to go to a wedding. I mean, we're chilling. We start tomorrow. How did they break back on this?
On 4 in a row, and a perfect time as Ultra step into the new hill to see how they come, and the Ultra listening.
That's a huge insight win over there because like he gets traded out, but the guy who's traded him out is Cell and he's already deep over here. So like they're spawning closer to the hill than the other team, and now it's just a 1v1 on hill. Big kill by Rap, and now they're holding. Insight winning that AR gunfight on the rails is actually. This is a good pickup by Insight, but he's taking that Omega deep route. So look at the way Insight's playing this. He's playing for every possible route that Draza could take, going underneath low art here. So he takes the low art route and goes up here, but he's also accounting for the possible art stairs route in case he went up art stairs. So that's why he's playing this little corner. It's a good play by Insight. He's securing the possibility of it. Like he's securing the possibility of both routes. I think that's really important because it's not like you can focus on this art stairs route because, oh, that's the quicker route. He's going to take that one. He takes the deeper route, right? So you need to be able to cut off both possibilities. So that's a good play by Insight. Because if he just stayed down over here and was watching this, he kills him for free on his back. So just making sure that you're aware of the different possibilities and cutting off both at the same time, it's very, very important. Honestly, the good trades by Toronto. This is a great P1 by them. So, like I said before, big kills at the ult of P1. If you're controlling ult of P1, you know where the pressure will be coming from once the P2 happens. It'll either be through mid or if it'll be there like through outer. Obviously, number 7 is already here, so these guys are gonna have to like get pressure towards new. But now you know P1's completely covered. You don't have to worry about that anymore, and the less things you have to worry about, the better, obviously. So this is where initial positioning works so well for FaZe because they early row, and because even though Toronto hit this old time and made sure no one was coming P1, you still have to break onto the P2, and that's what number 5 and number 7 do here. They're making sure that they're holding this initial time. They're not even on hill, but they're trying to play for these kills that are eventually going to come. They get some help from a BZ number 6 here who hits mid. And just like I said before, since they covered P1, they were focused on breaking through this way. But now what happens is they don't win the gunfights here. Number 8 can now take a route where he goes P1 and they have to recover everything back up again. So now FaZe is going to have P1 control, and you can also get kills through mid, and you're going to be soaking time. This is big because I talked about Cell going P1, but he takes way too long this route that these guys that are spawning back Burger are just able to hit the route out for free through Burger and through Long. So like the route, they're calling for the route, but since he's not actually being active and seeing them, it works well for Toronto because they can just converge onto the hill without a threat of Cell actually being there. And now they converge on the hill, focus those kills first, and now they can focus on the possible flank that Cell has. So Toronto plays this really well. Like Cell, if he had just sprinted, he could have made a play, but he was obviously still waiting for spawners to come up through mid like this. So he was waiting for that gunfight, but they're just like, fuck it, let's just hit the hill, focus on these kills first, and then we'll worry about Cell if we have to later on. That's what they're doing now. But again, you focus on Cell, number 3, number 4, you leave out the rest of the guys here. So number 7 just has a free kill. And now you can soak on hill. Number 6 and number 5 can reinforce through middle, so they have that cut off. Toronto favorable spawns because they're spawning back Burger. They get there quicker, so they just hit through Long, hit through Burger. They can reinforce kills this way for their guys soaking on time. So it's a really mixy hill, but both teams are honestly like playing it pretty decently. Start back up tomorrow. How does Simp get a 3-piece here? Oh, nade. This guy's jumping off, and he gets a third guy at Long. Huge. Because that's like, I mean, I guess he gets straight out instantly, but they're still going to be soaking time. But BZ was there with him, so knows this. Once again, same type of thing. You have to be aware of possible routes early through art and a possible route through old because they're on old time. So let's see how not only a BZ but FaZe tries to rake this. They get the kill on Draza taking the route. A BZ wins the gunfight old, and now he has number 8 to work with Cell towards the back. They're kind of doing the same thing. 2-2. 2 guys are going to hit through the back, similar to how Toronto did. 2 guys hit through the front. But here, Toronto is in more position to stuff this. Remember, Simp last time was just sitting over here and holding like his own push. Now 4 and number 1 can work together to hold this spawn for each other. 2 and 3 have to worry about their front. They can teamwork off of this. Good hold by Toronto. They seemed like they were apprehensive to break on into this on what they wanted to do. Because like obviously 8's holding for the possible pinch up through the stairs, but like 6, 5, and 7, it's kind of hard to work together because they're not like next to each other. And like Draza's throwing a nade while number 6 dies. So this probably could have been better coordinated for FaZe, which is surprising because they're usually good with breaking like on this map specifically. Envoy gets 2. They just pick them apart. Now FaZe, another attempt. Doing well. He gets a 2-piece. They're still holding this P3. They can soak this time and possibly chain towards the P4. But you're gonna see all 4 players on FaZe. They realize the situation. They just gotta hit the together. Do something together here. They're just gonna wolf pack it straight through towards P4. Make sure that they hold this new hill. So you see all 3 people there. They're gonna now be contesting the spawn. Cleanix tries to reinforce by flanking this out. They catch him. So now that you have parallel spawns happening because Cleanix was technically blocking this for a second. Obviously FaZe is blocking this, so number 2 spawns out. Very important for them to stay alive though here. If they die here, it's so.
But it's a tie game. It's gonna be another photo finish. Big one versus scrap. Deep out towards Cillian.
Big kills. So even though they die here, it's still worthwhile risk because they have number 5 here. But at least one of them stays alive towards the back here, and that's number 8 and number 6 obviously still. So they get the kill towards this back alley. They also get the kill on P3 old. So it's a not a clean 4 down, but it is a 4 down for FaZe, and now they're soaking this P4. That just goes to show you like something's going wrong, but you still have an opportunity to just fully rotate as a team and actually do something together to make sure the situation is not completely for the next hill. You just do it. And now they're in a good situation here going to this P4. FaZe 2-2, or sorry, Toronto 2-2, 2 burger, 2 through P3. FaZe is just trying to get info on where they're coming from. Number 7 kills number 2. They kill number 3 hitting the backside. So this just looks disjointed for me on the Toronto side, because you have a 2-2 here where number 3 and number 4 are working the back, number 1 and number 2 are working the front. But look at where like number 3 and number 4, they kind of just like split off from each other. Like Insight's trying to jump over, trying to find people that might be playing the backside, while Cleanix, instead of working out with Insight towards the back here, he goes and tries to work towards the front because they needed to help front. So you kind of need to do something together here, whether it's breaking through the back, breaking through the front. It looked disjointed at that point. And now 7 spawns up here. They're spawning P2, and you can just crossfire here. This should be free for Toronto, or sorry, for FaZe.
You have to break right through that front side if you want to take down Atlanta. Long crossing angles here from Atlanta. Contest going to be decent right now for Ultra, but when do these gunfights start to come through? Cell cutting off the
just free. Toronto had a break on that first initial break attempt.
And this is a scary moment because if Abizi earns his cruise missile, you know how impactful that can be. And when he shoots like that, it's just simply too easy for him. It's now off the rotation. Inside at least wins a big one-on-one gunfight to potentially set his team on up. But Abizi's here to inside.
All this free plays for FaZe right now. They're still soaking the rest of the time, so all of this was just free info, free plays that they can try and get kills off of.
The big factor here is that cruise missile. When does Atlanta want to pop this? Sooner rather than later, or do you hold it for an emergency situation?
Cleanix gets traded out towards the right side. They trade out the mid guy. That's Straza. Toronto still doing well on this hold. They see number 6 going around here. Number 4 is going to pick him up. Good job by Toronto. Now they can get pushed up. You can get pretty pushed up on this hill without them spawning back here. Simp, huge 2-piece. A nade kill and a kill like sliding in. Last guy live is well, not last guy live, but last actual active player live is mid here. They know one guy's on time, so they can use their streak now. Use a streak on time. He doesn't hit it, but the guy gets off time. They know he goes P1. Now they can converge together. They have P1 control. This is really good for FaZe. Get kills L. Last guy alive is going to be towards the hill here. They're going to try and trade him out. Number 6. Huge kill by BZ. They also get another kill L. So they're getting these reinforcement kills towards this P1 area. So the rest of this 10 seconds is going to go to FaZe. Toronto has to play for the P1, and that's what you see. Cleanix already there, but Draza picks him up. More reinforcements. Ooh, my headphones just plugged out. More reinforcements as Toronto tries to, you know, hit through mid and hit through P2 over here to take a different angle. But just more trades by Draza here. Now they're just soaking time. You just have to watch your L and watch your mid. Mid guys watching. Front guys watching. Draza gets 2. Another one. A quad to end off the map. He's hyped up. So FaZe playing that pretty well. Honestly, like, it got close for a second, but them making sure in this specific situation that it didn't fall out of their hands. I almost sounded Canadian there. If it didn't fall out of their hands when they were in this situation. This is the biggest rotation situation of this entire map. This exact play right here. Them just deciding, fuck it, you know, oh, we just went 4 down. Everyone just hit through the spawn. Everyone just make sure that we win off or we get this P4 time. Fuck the P3. Fuck the rest of this 30 seconds. If we can break this spawn, you know, maybe we can break it back on in and get a little bit of chunk of time for that old time and make sure they're not breaking P4 through P3 and have a weird staggered first push. But them actually focused on holding this spawn and making sure they play for the P4 instead, it just wins them the game pretty much. All right, that was the first map. Jesus. Oh, they played a 6-star? I forgot they played 6-star search in this. Hey, what's good, Optic Texas Spinner? Let me catch up with the chat a little bit because I was kind of focused on that VOD.